Of course, starting with our guest of honor, ladies and gentlemen, we're elated that we have with us Jayant Sinha, Member of Parliament and ex-partner, McKinsey and Omdiyar Network, who's taken out his valuable time.
IIT is a best partner for us. So we are signing an MOU, we are signing an MOU, and maybe Jayant Bhai, and we can just present that.
So I'd just like to come in and, of course, declare that there's been an MOU between Nishit Desai Associates and Pan IIT, which is going to be a very encouraging step for both the organizations. So let's give them a mighty round of applause on that front. So fantastic moment right there at the day 3 of PIWOT 2025, wherein we had the MOU signing between Nishit Desai Associates and Pan IIT. So congratulations to both of them, and let's give them a bigger round of applause, because such memorandums of understanding totally help both the organizations grow together. And on that note, it is indeed my honor to now call upon our guest of honor. He's a prominent Indian politician and a member of parliament. He's also had a distinguished career in corporate world as a former partner at McKinsey and Company and a key figure at the Omdiyar Network. His career spans across public policy, finance, and international development, with a strong focus on economic reforms, entrepreneurship, and technology-driven development. He's got a unique blend of policy expertise and corporate experience that has helped shape his approach to addressing India's growth challenges, particularly in the areas of job creation, startups, and digital transformation. It is indeed an honor for the entire PIWOT 2025 team to welcome none other than Shri Jayant Sinha.
Thank you very much for that kind introduction. I just need to make one correction, which is that I'm not a member of parliament anymore. I'm a former member of parliament, and I'm dedicating all my time now to what I will be speaking about, which is climate change and the $1 trillion green opportunity that we have. So just with that correction, let me start. But first, I want to acknowledge Dr. Saraf, who's on the podium with me, Shri Debashish Bhattacharya, who's the chairman of the Pan IIT alumni, Shri Nishit Desai, my very good friend, Shri Raj Nair, and of course, all of you in the audience here at the fag end of what I think has been a fantastic Pan IIT. So congratulations, Dr. Saraf, congratulations, Shri Debashish Bhattacharya, and all of you for putting up such a fantastic Pan IIT. And I must tell you, over the years, I've been to many of these Pan IITs, but this one, with the way it's been organized, of course, the setting, the speakers, is right up there among the best Pan IITs. So once again, congratulations for that. Now, as I said, I'm speaking at the fag end of the conference. And Nishit Bhai did his best to get your attention and to get you going after lunch. So I'm going to add to that and try and build a little bit more energy in the room. And I'm going to put out a number. And the number is $1 trillion. Does that wake you up, $1 trillion? You like the sound of $1 trillion? I do. But what I want to talk to you about today is the $1 trillion opportunity that we have right in front of us. And it is, in fact, in one of the foundational technologies, some of the foundational technologies that Nishit Bhai just spoke about. And that is all the technologies and all the opportunities that we are confronting in the next decade. So this is not about something that's 20 years away. This is in the next decade for all of us. But we have to seize that opportunity, and it is absolutely an existentialist लाइफ और डेथ का सवाल है हमारे भारत के लिए, तो हमें करना ही है और करना भी पड़ेगा. But it is for us as engineers and technologists a fantastic opportunity, and that's the $1 trillion green opportunity I want to talk to you all about. Now, I'm just going to start with a little bit of bad news. A little bit of bad news. But after that, it's all good news after this. But the little bit of bad news I have to tell you is that global warming is accelerating. Global warming is accelerating, and all of you understand the science behind this. As we pump more greenhouse gases into the atmosphere and that trend accelerates, we are warming the world faster and faster and faster. So the projection right now is that by 2100, the planet will be, and this is the latest UN projection, it will be 3.1 degrees centigrade warmer than the pre-industrialization era. Now this 3.1 degrees centigrade, we must understand, is a global average mean temperature. So this does not include extremes. And it is an average temperature, which means that this includes the entire planet, of which, as we all well know, 2/3 is oceans, 2/3 is water. So what is going to happen to maximum land temperatures, or better said, how hot is it going to become in Delhi and Mumbai? That's the question we need to understand. And the answer, friends, sadly is that it's going to become very, very hot. People are projecting that Delhi's maximum temperatures are going to go to the mid-50s. We are going to have heat waves that will be 45 degrees centigrade and higher. Mumbai, which has fairly temperate weather, maximum 38 degrees centigrade, could well be in the 42, 43, 44 range. And of course, Mumbai as a coastal city will be subject to significant coastal flooding as well because of sea level rise, and because we will have far more cyclones in the Arabian Sea, as of course you understand, ocean temperatures go up, there's more energy in the ocean water, more cyclones are triggered, and obviously that leads to more coastal flooding. So we have to be very, very alert. This is not something that is abstract. This is not something happening in the permafrost, in the tundra, or in Canada. It's happening right here at home. So we have to be very, very concerned about where things are headed with global warming. But at the same time, and from here the good news starts, because this is such an important issue, such an urgent issue, all of us as technologists and engineers have been working away on green technologies. And the good news is, green technologies have become disruptors. And if we look at three broad areas, of course, Dr. Parekh didn't bring these up as foundational technologies, but they are. They are foundational technologies: solar, storage, and energy efficiency. When we look at these three technologies that are moving extremely fast, solar is now to 10 cents a watt. They are paying you to take solar electricity in the middle of the day in Europe now. Paying you. That's how cheap electricity has become. So once we get to the point, and of course fusion is coming, once we get to the point that energy becomes cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and greener and greener and greener, many industries get disrupted, they change, and that opens up a huge disruption, a huge investment, and a huge innovation opportunity. Now, even as we think about this investment and we think about innovation, please note that we have to be competitive against China. And today China leads the world in green development. Some 80% of solar panel manufacturing and 75% of battery manufacturing in the world is in China right now. More than 50% of new cars sold in China today are electric vehicles. And the world's most efficient and most effective producer of electric vehicles today is China. So if we have to compete, we have to recognize that for us the competition is going to have to be what China has done with green technologies. That's what we have to do. And folks, this is not ESG. When I start talking about green, some people say, oh, I've been doing ESG, I know ESG. No. Please don't get me wrong. This is not ESG. This is national competitiveness. If their price of electricity is 2 cents a kilowatt hour and your price of electricity is 7 cents a kilowatt hour, how are we going to compete? If their cost per kilometer for their transportation is 20 or 30% of ours because they have flipped over to electric vehicles, how are we going to compete in logistics? This is a competitiveness issue. So we've got to really match China and keep up with what they're doing. The good news is, we have great examples. How many of you have been through Bangalore Terminal 2? Please raise your hands. Bangalore Terminal 2. Do you like it? Is it a fabulous terminal or not? It's a net zero terminal, folks. All the energy is generated by solar, all the water is recycled, and of course, it's got incredible digital technologies, and that's why I say we also have to get to the green frontier, just like Bangalore Terminal 2, the combination of sustainability, green and digital. That's what going to the green frontier means. And how many of you use DigiYatra? Do you like DigiYatra? Okay, I developed it when I was in the aviation ministry. So when you put DigiYatra into a green terminal like Terminal 2, we get India at the green frontier. And folks, that's what we need to think about. That's our vision for the future. Because net zero development for India is net positive. And it's net positive whether we look at it in GDP terms. GDP will be 1 or 2% faster if we get to net zero on a net zero trajectory. Like the Honorable Prime Minister has said, we need to. We'll create more jobs. We'll have more investment. And how many of you like AQI? Pradeep, you like AQI 500? Do you like it? Do you like that level of air pollution, anyone? Bombay's at 200, 300. We will get rid of air pollution if we go to net zero, folks. That's what we need. And that's why I say net zero development is net positive. Greater energy security, because we are importing $250 billion of fossil fuels, lower air pollution, and of course higher GDP growth. Those are the benefits of net zero development, folks, and that's why we've got to capture this $1 trillion opportunity. Every sector is going to be transformed. The point of this chart is not to be able to read it. Please don't read it. It's a McKinsey chart. They're not meant to be read. It's just to show you we've done a lot of work. So all sectors are going to have to be transformed. But the only way we do this, and this is what I'm working on now, the only way to do it is if we can get global north capital. There's plenty of money in America. Where's Witty? Witty Bindra, where are you? Are you sending any money from Houston or not? Is Houston sending capital to us? That's what we need to do. We need to get money from Witty Bindra and Houston, from all of you who are in America. Send the money to us. We will use it well. We will accelerate net zero. And that's the way it has to happen when the global north and the global south work together, because it's a win-win-win for everyone. Win for the global north, win for the global south, win for the planet. And that's what net zero development, that's what going green is all about. Now let's talk about why this is such a good news story. In 2004, India's GDP was about $0.7 trillion. Today, it is about $4 trillion. In the last 20 years, we have added $3 trillion to GDP. And the good news is, I hope you all have been invested. Nishit Bhai was telling us about Bitcoin. But I've got something almost as good, if not better than Bitcoin. And that's called the Indian stock market. How many of you are invested in the Indian stock market? Right? Let Nishit Bhai do Bitcoin. I would like the rest of you to be in the Nifty. And just like GDP has gone up by $3 trillion, the Nifty, the total market cap in India, just listed securities, has gone up by $3 trillion in the last 20 years. A lot of wealth has been created. A lot of wealth has been created in the last 20 years. But folks, here's the best part. If we continue to grow at the 6 or 7% that India is going to grow at, in the next In the next 20 years, our GDP is going to be somewhere between 15 to 20 trillion dollars, which means if market cap to GDP remains 1:1, we are going to add 12 trillion dollars to Indian market cap, 4x of the last 20 years. The next 20 years will add $12 trillion to market cap. Please stay invested, Nishit bhai. I'm not going to recommend Dogecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum. No. Nifty, nifty, nifty. So we need your capital into the Indian stock market. Nishit bhai is not an investment advisor. As a lawyer, he has to give you those qualifications. Duly noted, sir. So all I'm saying is, if we just continue on the growth rate that everybody in the world is expecting, you are going to see incredible wealth creation because of these kinds of green investment opportunities that we have in India. Markets are going to continue to go up, and a lot of that is because we are going to be able to have incredible companies, green startups. I have just written this book, India's Green Startups. India's green startups are going to be a very, very important part of this wealth creation. Very important part of this wealth creation. We're already seeing companies like Ether Energy, Ola, Renew Power, my brother's company, all of them now are stalwarts in the market. They're doing extremely well. We are going to create a huge number of unicorns in the green space. That's going to drive growth. That's going to drive wealth creation. And that's a tremendous, tremendous way for all of us to further accelerate and enhance net zero development, folks. So thank you very, very much. I look forward to collaborating and working with many of you on this $1 trillion green opportunity that we have right now. But the best years for India lie ahead. Let's welcome a green future for India. Thank you very, very much.
Well, a hearty round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Shri Jayant Sinha, what a fantastic oration that was. His wisdom, his intellect, his vision forward. We truly value your presence, Shri Jayant Sinha. And on that note, it is indeed my honor to call upon the Chairman, Pan IIT, Mr. Debashish Bhattacharya, of course, who's been instrumental in starting IIT BHU Alumni Association as a Secretary, Vice President, and eventually as the President for a decade, and of course has worked in various blue chip corporate experience in companies like BHEL, Escorts, and SIA, SL. We, of course, have known him over the years. Let's give him a mighty round of applause for leading Pan IIT, being its chairman. So we request your presence, Mr. Bhattacharya, on the podium for your remarks.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Honorable former MP, Jayant ji. He also happens to be an IITian that I think we have missed out when we introduced him. Thank you very much for taking your time out to be here. Nishit, thank you. And I have my colleagues Sharad and Raj. The easiest thing to do is when we come to the conclusion of an event, to be able to say thank you to everybody. Because at that point of time, everything is done, no surprises left, and we are ready to complete the whole thing and go back. It has been a tremendous effort by my colleagues, Dr. Sharad Saraf and Raj Nair, without whom this event would not have happened in this scale, magnitude, and magnificent. Request you all to put your hands together and a standing ovation for these two gentlemen. Thank you. Over the years, we have tried to ensure that Pan IIT becomes an organization which is representing the vision and objective of its founders, that of giving back to the society. Towards that, in addition to all other activities, we have been opening channels of communication with our alma maters, through the directors, through the deans, and through the Alumni Association presidents, as well as through the incubation centers. One of the areas where we are looking at India going forward is really the movement or transition from or transformation from employment seekers to employment givers. So there is a lot of movement happening in the startup ecosystem. IIT startups from the IIT alumni community is doing a lot of work. Similarly, there are other bodies, Wheels Global Foundation working on water and energy, sustainability, livelihood. PARFI, which is working on skilling of economically weaker sections to transform their lives. So there are various things that we are doing, and in this, I invite all of you to please join us, volunteer your time and intellect so that we are able to formulate actions and deliver them towards the contribution of the community. And that is what Jayant also mentioned, that there are opportunities before us which we need to take. I would like to stop here, but before that I would like to also acknowledge the tremendous contribution of two other people, or rather two other pairs of people without whom possibly we would not have been standing here today, right? One of them, or rather two of them, first two of them, Melissa De Silva and Padmini Padi, please stand up and be counted. And I would like all of us to put our hands together. From the day that we started till today and beyond, these two are the people who have held the organization together through every kind of things that have been thrown at them, and they've risen to the task. Thank you, Melissa, and thank you, Padmini. This is from my side, right? In addition, I would also like to acknowledge and count two other people. The third person is still busy with his activities, so I'm not calling him right now. Shweta Papriwal, Advait Kurlekar. Please khade ho jao aap. Advait is responsible for the excellent program that you guys have enjoyed for the last 2.5 days. Shweta Papriwal and Praveen Kumar are two other people who have together turned around the outreach and registration, and the number of registrations that we have got in the last 2 months far outstrips what we have done 6 months prior to that. So with that, I would like to hand over to Bhavna, and I am looking forward to the address by Sharad Saraf, my colleague, my senior, and one of the most positive, energetic and vibrating person, without whom possibly nobody would have been so energized. Thank you very much. Over to you, Bhavna.
So well, ladies and gentlemen, on that, let's give Mr. Debashish Bhattacharya a warmer round of applause. What a fantastic 3 days it's been, and what a wonderful organization, Pan IIT. Of course, as you can see, we have Sharad Saraf with us, who's the convener of PIWOT 2025. Let's hear what he has to say, pivoting the way forward, what we have achieved and what lies ahead for us. So the way ahead is what, Mr. Saraf, over to you.
Thank you, Bhavna. Before I really start, I am overwhelmed by what my colleague Debashish said. I would just simply like to correct him that it is not Sharad Saraf or Raj Nair who have brought this event up. It was a fantastic team effort. It was a teamwork like which I have never seen in last 52 years of my association with IIT as well as other forums. He did mention about some names, Advait, Melissa, Padmini, and so on, but these were the real pillars, but then we had a whole organizing committee of over 50 alumni who were supporting this, and some of them were true stars who worked very hard to ensure that we are properly funded, we are properly organized, and we are properly taken care of. Sir, now let me start with little bit of formality. In the formal way, Jayant Sinha ji, sir, I had the pleasure of close interaction with your respected father when he was finance minister, and probably one of the most knowledgeable and well-versed finance minister that this country had. I also had the pleasure of a little bit working with your brother on the green energy, and I thought he was an expert on green energy, but now I find that you are no less, so it probably runs in your DNA, in your blood, for both of you, both the brothers. Nishit bhai, innovator, a scientist who is trying to bring in research and development in the realm of legal profession as well as in finance and other activities, management and other activities. I had the privilege of visiting his Imaginarium in Alibag. When I entered there, I forgot that I am in India. It was as if it's out of the world. Nishit bhai, my congratulations for creating such a wonderful facility. He has opened the doors for IIT Bombay to use it anytime, any which way we like. I thank you very much for that, sir. Going a bit further, I would not like to call this a conference or a summit or anything. It is nothing but an initiative. Let's call it an initiative. Day before yesterday, we kick-started this initiative, and the initiative is to ignite the minds, the great minds of IIT alumni. Yes, we all have it in us, being an IIT alumni, but an event like this certainly brings in a spark. And we heard phenomenally wise people speak here on this dais. This morning, we had a Nobel laureate who spoke about a revolutionary technology of nanoparticles, how you can make permanent magnets more stronger without the using of rare earth, how it can be used in EVs. Similarly, we had extremely learned views from speakers regarding AI and other technologies to come. Why I say this as an initiative? Because we would like this today and yesterday what we have done to continue. And this would continue because we have established great relationship with Government of Maharashtra for rural development and healthcare. We were able to establish a task force to review joint entrance exam process, whether we can come up with an alternate. We have brought in new ideas on research and development which we would like to take further. This morning we had a session on healthcare which my friends here from US conducted it so well and brought out so many new ideas in the healthcare sector. Sir, PIWOT is held every year, once in US and once in India. This is the third edition in India, and in times to come, we plan to add value to what we are doing already. I would like to particularly thank our sponsors, without whom this fantastic event could not have been possible. Particularly the platinum sponsors, the title sponsor, Reliance Industries. Sir, in share market, there was a saying, because I am also a registered member of Bombay Stock Exchange, there is a saying, you can rely on Reliance. So we also relied on Reliance and they didn't let us down, they supported us fully. I am grateful to them. I am grateful to our platinum sponsors, Les Logics, SBI, Government of Maharashtra, and above all, Dubai Economic and Tourism Department, Government of Dubai. Sir, we have among the delegates present here, we have delegates not only from US, from Japan, from Europe, and several other countries. I am very grateful to particularly to the Japanese delegations who conducted such a lively session on technology from Japan. We had a large number of speakers, very bright speakers who shared their knowledge and experience with us. Like all good things, this event also at present would come to an end, but please take with you the memories, and somebody did ask you how many new friends you made, how many new ideas that you have absorbed and taken. Well, it's not the numbers which are important, it's the value, the importance of what you are carrying with you. So with these few words, I once again thank you all for sparing your time, sparing your weekend, Sunday, coming here in spite of the marathon happening in Mumbai. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry I jumped the mic. During when we are recognizing everybody, I missed out a few people. My apologies for that. There are some people who do work from the background. Nobody knows what they're doing, right? There are 3 such people here sitting. Narinder, please stand up. The one who is responsible for the arrangement, logistics, and everything, the food and beverage. We have Praveen Kumar, who has been with Shweta together. They have turned around the registration, participation, and our outreach. And I have Pradeep Bhargav. Where you are, Pradeep Bhargav, please stand up. He is the one who has single-handedly run the hackathon and the startup showcase. In hackathon, in about 2 months' time, he and his team member Animesh both together garnered about 15,700 registrations, of which 300 have participated in the live finals here during the last 24 hours. Right, so thank you guys. With that, hand over to Bhavna.
You know, it's such a true leader when, Mr. Bhattacharya came back again on the podium. I would like to compliment his leadership that he ensures that everyone who needs to be thanked is thanked. I think that itself is such a wonderful quality for him to join us back on the podium, and I think that speaks a lot about his character. On that note, of course, how can we not have the opportunity of felicitating our leaders on stage? So if I could request all our leadership, Mr. Bhattacharya, Mr. Saraf, and Mr. Nair to help us with the felicitation of our dignitaries. Of course, starting with our guest of honor, ladies and gentlemen, once again, let's give it to none other than Shri Jayant Sinha. some moments of gratitude. Mr. Sinha, displaying his leadership, his vision, and showcasing such an important story through his talk. Of course, we'd also like an opportunity to thank and felicitate none other than Nishit Desai. Can we request Mr. Desai to please step forward? Of course, we'd like him in the frame with all our leaders. Mr. Saraf as well, thank you so much. Mr. Nair doing the honor. And with that, if I may request the 5 of you to come together for a group photograph. This moment is something which needs to be captured, and I think it's only going to be made special with all your applause, everyone. This is the closing plenary. Give yourselves as well a bigger round of applause, the entire Pan IIT team. And I think, why don't you all stand up, give yourselves a standing ovation. Let's make this moment even more special. What a fantastic closing this has been of PIWOT 2025. You guys have been fantastic. Congratulations to the team of Pan IIT.